So the other day I pulled this book off the shelf because I knew there was something in this book that I needed clarity on in my life at this point. The book is Living Your Strengths. Discover your God-given talents. Living your strengths. Discover your God-given talents. And I just knew that there was something that this could help me to understand with something that I've been really struggling with. And have I been struggling with? Connectedness. This physical distancing has been making this whole connectedness thing difficult. And I remembered one morning that one of my strengths is connectedness. And so this is what is said about connectedness. In your soul, you know that we are all connected. In your soul, you know that we are all connected. You gain confidence from knowing that we are not isolated from one another. You gain confidence from knowing that we are not isolated from one another. And I needed to be reminded of that because this is my view right now of worship here at Holy Communion Church. Yep, this is what I get to see as I am preaching and presiding at the prayers. I so miss all of you. And so the first week was just terrible. I mean, it was just absolutely terrible. I just wasn't getting it. Second week was a little better because I put a couple people, so I did have a couple live people that I could preach to. But the third week I got it. Why? There I was in my bed with my first prayers in the morning. Yes, I begin my prayers right in bed. When I first get up in the morning, I don't leave bed at all because, you see, I suffer from OCD. That's another one of my talents. And I know if I get out of bed, that my OCD will take over and I'll become so distracted with so many other things that I may not get around to those prayers. And then the other thing is, the reality is, I get out of bed in the morning, Daisy gets out of bed in the morning. And you know what she has to do first thing in the morning? And because she suffers from an anxiety disorder, my dog cannot go outside on her own. I have to throw on clothes and go out and be with her. And you wouldn't believe some morning how long it takes for her to find that absolute perfect spot. And so I don't even get out of bed. I start my prayers right there in bed. And the reality is, one morning as I was praying for Holy Communion Church and all those affiliated with Holy Communion Church, I felt so connected to everyone. And I thought to myself, well, this is certainly weird because nobody is in my bedroom but me. That would have been really weird if you were all in my bedroom with me. But I felt connected. And then I came to recognize that this connection isn't just physical. In my soul, I know that we are all connected. I gain confidence from knowing that we are not isolated from one another. Sensitive to the invisible hand, you can give others comfort that there is a purpose beyond our humdrum lives. Your faith is strong. It sustains you and your close friends in the face of life's mystery. Sustains me. Because as I spent some time in prayer, what did I reflect on? Our times together. This is how I like to preach. Right there in everyone's presence. And so it helped me by reflecting and remembering those times where we are together, because it helped me to feel more connected. Connectedness is what's helping me to preach and to preside. because we are connected, if not physically, spiritually. And so the book continues. Connectedness talents are valuable because they provide us with conviction and faith that sustain and encourage us and our friends in difficult times. Did you hear that? Connectedness talents are valuable because they provide us with conviction and faith that sustain and encourage us and our friends in difficult times. We believe that there's a power beyond the visible world that provides meaning, comfort, and confidence. Our connectedness gives us hope. We believe that there's a power beyond the visible world that provides meaning, comfort, and confidence. Our connectedness gives us hope. And what is that power? It's the resurrection power of Jesus Christ. His presence with all of us connects us at this time. Even though we might have to be practicing physical distancing, we're connected. And that connectedness brings us hope and peace. As St. Peter put in his first letter, chapter 1, verse 17, conduct yourselves with reverence during the time of your sojourning. Conduct yourselves with reverence during your time of sojourning. Yep, our parking lot at Holy Communion Church is looking really empty right now. But you don't have to be physically present to be connected. Our Lord is helping us to sojourn, to travel together through this time. The Lord is present to us, just like the Lord was present to the disciples on the road to Emmaus. Notice that they were feeling really downtrodden. Notice that they had almost given up on their hope in Jesus. And as they traveled along, as they sojourned, Jesus was present to them. And what did he do? He broke open the Word for them. Help them to understand how God has been present and active throughout all of history. And that's true right now. God is still active and present with us right now. That's the resurrection power. As God breaks open the Word for us today, right now, a Word that gives us hope. How did they respond? Were not our hearts burning inside us? We can feel our hearts burning inside us as we connect with one another on a spiritual way, because that's really what the word reverence means. Reverence is an awe of the spiritual by not being overly persuaded by the physical. You know, reverence is a respectful awe of the spiritual when we're not focusing too much on the physical. So let us live with that reverence right now, that respectful awe of the spiritual presence of the Lord in our midst, connecting us in a very real way. For what we believe is connectedness is valuable because it provides us with conviction and faith that sustains and encourages us and our friends in difficult times. We believe that there's a power beyond the visible world that provides meaning, comfort, and confidence. Our connectedness gives us hope.